Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good
Good
morning.
morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning. Fine. The part that is
Good morning, sir.
good morning.
Plant physiology.
Physiology. Yes. Just a minute. Plant physiology. MB new. Hmm. Okay. So in plant physiology, transpiration is done. Next, yes, it is completed. Okay. This is fine. Next term, it is guttation.
Sir, once you scroll the screen,
Huh?
once scroll the screen, sir.
From here. Can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Sir, from anti-transpiration.
Okay, this is anti-transpiration, transparent. So ABS, CO2, silicone oil, aspirin, PMA, phenyl mercuric acetate. Okay, these are anti-transparent. Done. What is guttation? Guttation means actually, guttation means this is also loss of water, but in liquid form. Okay, in liquid form from the leaf margins. Okay, but not from the not from the stomata. These openings on the leaf margins, they are called hydatodes. Hydatodes, yes. So hydatodes, through the hydatodes, if water is coming out from the leaf, that is guttation. It is not transpiration. In transpiration, the stomata are involved, and here water loss is in the form of vapors. Okay, but here water loss in the liquid form. Okay, so this loss of water in liquid form from the leaf margin through the hydatodes, it is called guttation. Clear? So ultimately water is lost here, but in the form of liquid directly. Not in all plants, but mostly grasses. Okay, like tomato, oats, these plants also, these monocots, they have this type of mechanism. Cucumber, okay, cereals. So these grasses, they show this phenomena that is called guttation. Fine. So in guttation, like herbaceous plants like oats, barley, rice, colocasia, uh, herbaceous plant like tomato. So they show guttation. What is guttation? This is the loss of water in the form of liquid. In the form of liquid from the leaf margin, leaf margins is called guttation. It is guttation. The opening or the drop, the droplets come out from the leaf margin through the openings called hydatodes. These are hyda or hydatodes. So the leaf margin, they have opening and they remain open. They remain open. There is no mechanism of opening and closing, just like hydatodes, HYDA, hyda or hyde, hydatodes. So hydatodes are these are permanent opening like lenticels. So no opening or closing mechanism in the hydathode and lenticel like stomata. Only stomata they have that technique, opening and closing. So in monocots, especially in herbaceous plants, they have this mechanism. It occurs in some herbaceous plants, like oats, barley, rice, tomato, cucumber, and it is not complete list. These are some examples only. So these examples means these plants, they show guttation. Okay, and the guttation is because of root pressure. Okay, this guttation is actually because of root pressure. Generally, transpiration occurs when the guttation occurs when transpiration rate is low. Okay, so at that time water is absorbed but transpiration is slow, and generally it occurs during night. Okay, as you know, transpiration occurs generally in daytime in presence of light. So stomata open and they lose their water in the form of vapors. So this is transpiration. Okay, but
can you
here
scroll down once?
the guttation is the method, guttation is the process when water is what is means the leaf or the plant loses its water in the form of liquid when transpiration is low or stopped and water absorption occurs. Okay, water absorption is continuous but no loss of water in the form of vapors. So at that time guttation starts. Okay, so guttation generally occurs during night. Okay, when photosynthesis is stopped, when transpiration is low or stopped. So at that time this absorbed water, okay, it is lost through the guttation, through guttation process.
So can you scroll down a bit, sir?
This is complete guttation here.
No, sir. The transpiration, the yellow color thing, I didn't write yesterday. I had some connectivity issue.
Okay.
Sir, I
This
have
is
written,
importance of
sir.
Just a minute. One more
Yes,
point
sir.
add here in the importance of transpiration. Actually, you know this point. This is transpiration helps in to maintain that shape or size, shape and size of the cell. Means it maintains the turgid cell. Okay, means it is responsible for maintaining that turgidity. It helps in maintaining shape of the cell. Shape of the cell means shape of the organs. Huh? So this is transpiration. Huh? Guttation. Guttation means loss of water in the form of liquid from the leaf margin through hydatodes. Hydatodes are openings. Hmm.
Sir, can you show that point of transpiration?
Hmm. This is the new point. Huh? It helps to maintain the shape. Okay. Shape and size of the organ or cells. Done.
Yes, sir, done.
Hmm. So guttation occurs when
Excuse me, sir, what is that word after some in third point?
herbaceous plant, herbaceous, herbs, vegetables or cereals, herbaceous plants. You can write herbs. So guttation means it is loss of water. It occurs. It is maximum when transpiration is low or absent and water absorption is high. Water absorption is high. Okay, so at that time guttation starts when low transpiration, high water absorption. This is the condition for guttation. Okay, so guttation occurs when low transpiration and high water absorption.
Sir, please scroll down, sir.
Due to low transpiration and high water absorption, a root pressure is developed. A root pressure is developed. Pressure in root.
चैलेंज करता हूँ
It is
देखो
a
पहले आई
positive
बोले मेरे
pressure.
पास बोल के कि देखो जो है सो अरे सुनो ना गाय को लगा रहे
Okay, so
कि जो है सो वो जो
this
इसमें
is
दीदी जो बिस्किट देना वो देखना वो खाना
okay. So root pressure is developed because of high water absorption and low transpiration. Okay, and because of this root pressure
Sir, can you scroll up, please, sir?
pushes water, and this water, it is coming out from the hydatodes.
Sir, can
Okay.
you scroll up, sir, please? Thank you.
Done.
Sir, fourth point.
Sir, but if water absorption increases, transpiration also increases, no, sir?
No. Transpiration increases, then water absorption increases. Okay, just reverse. It is not water absorption is increased, so transpiration increased. Okay, that is wrong. Transpiration pulls the water. Okay, so water is absorbed. Clear? If means loss of water starts, so water absorption is water absorption starts. Here in this condition, what happens? Actually, transpiration is low, no transpiration. Okay, so how can this plant absorb water? Here water absorption is because of root pressure. Here transpiration is stopped or less transpiration during night, so at that time small amount of water is absorbed slowly. Okay, because there is no requirement of fast ascent of sap, rapid ascent of sap, because no loss of water at the farthest end of the tree or the end part of the leaf. Okay, through the stomata, so no water loss, so you can absorb water slowly, not rapid fast requirement there. Okay, not immediate requirement, so no not in hurry. Okay, so water is absorbed slowly, fine, because of this osmotic concentration is there, so water is absorbed. Non-osmotic like this, fine, non-osmotic active water absorption occurs at that time. This is the time during night this non-osmotic water absorption occurs, fine, because of osmotic concentration between soil particles and root hair. So here water is absorbed slowly, but this water is accumulated in the root, so it creates one pressure that is called root pressure. Because of this pressure, this water is pushed up. Okay, it is means the root pressure, it pushes the water upwardly. So one scientist, it is Priestley, Joseph Priestley. In photosynthesis also it was present. Priestley, bell jar experiment. So
Sir,
this
one
Priestley,
root pressure, sir. Root
hello,
pressure.
root pressure is because of high water absorption. Root pressure is developed in the root because of this accumulation of water. Continuous water is absorbed. Here, see, this is root. So in this root, water is absorbed through the root hairs. So this water is coming inside, but there is no loss of water from the leaf.
Sir, can you
Okay.
please scroll it
So
up?
this water, it creates this continuously incoming water. It is accumulated in the root. This water, it creates one pressure that is called root pressure. Continuous water absorption because no ascent of sap occurs here. Okay, so this water, it produces one pressure that is root pressure, and because of this root pressure, the water is pushed upwardly. See here, this is leaf. Okay, and through the stomata water is lost in the form of vapors, that is called transpiration. And because of this transpiration, a negative pressure is developed, a negative pressure that is called transpiration pull. Okay, this is negative pressure, this is negative, but here this pressure is root pressure and it is positive pressure. Okay, it pushes upward. Transpiration pulls the water upward, root pressure pushes the water upward. Is it clear? So this root pressure is positive pressure, and because of this some amount of water is pushed up, means push upwardly. Okay, means slightly ascent of sap is possible. I will show you in ascent of sap here, the next part. So root pressure is developed here. Because of this root pressure, water moves upwardly, and this is positive pressure, means there is no anyone is there available on the leaf which is pulling the water. Okay, only the root pressure behind the water which is pushing water upwardly. So that is positive. Clear? This is
So which one
positive
is
pressure.
negative? Which pressure is negative?
This is transpiration pull, no? Transpiration. So transpiration, not transpiration. Transpiration pull is negative. Okay, and root pressure is positive pressure. So because of this, water moves upwardly. But here, no transpiration occurs. So the leaves, they have that hydatodes. Hydatodes are there, and water is continuously coming inside the root, inside the plant body. So some amount of water actually in case of herbaceous plants. Okay, so in herbaceous plants they have hydatodes. Hydatodes are not present in higher plants, means other trees or shrubs. The herbaceous plants, vegetable plants or grasses, they have hydatodes. Hydatodes means what? Hydatode means this is suppose the leaf structure. Uh, this is leaf. So they have small gaps between them, like this. So this continuation of means there is okay. So these structures, these are called hydatodes. So through the hydatodes, these are also epidermal cells. All are epidermal cells. So between the epidermal cells, the gap is called hydatodes. And through this, some amount of water, it is coming out directly. There is no vapor formation. So this is called guttation. So guttation, the reason is guttation. Reason of this guttation is the reason is root pressure. Huh? So the reason of guttation is root pressure. Root pressure is developed when transpiration is low, absorption is high. Okay, it means you can say indirectly the guttation is because of transpiration is low and absorption is high. So at that time guttation occurs. Is it clear? Huh? Still doubtful. Okay. Oh. Just.
Sir, guttation will occur only on night. Daytime they will not occur.
Guttation will.
Only night time they will
I'm
occur,
not
sir.
getting it.
Sir, only
Guttation.
guttation will occur only night time, sir.
Yes, yes. Because transpiration is absent here during night. Okay. But water is absorbed continuously. So here, this amount of water, extra amount of water is lost. Clear? Okay. So due to low transpiration and high water absorption, root pressure is developed. This root pressure is positive. Is positive pressure. Okay. Root pressure is measured by manometer. So this root pressure, because of this root pressure, water is pushed out through special cells, special pores, not cells. Okay, and these are hydatodes. And hydatodes, the position of hydatode, anatomical position is actually on the epidermis, but at the end
Excuse
of
me,
the
sir.
vein. Okay.
In which units is this root pressure measured?
Manometer.
No, sir. Unit, not the instrument.
No, unit is not given here. Unit is not given.
Okay, sir.
I think it is bar. It is bar.
Okay,
I
sir.
don't. I'm afraid I have no idea. No? but it is by bar, I think. So this is principal vein, okay, in the leaf. These are different veins, okay. So in the means at the vein end, this vein ending, where the vein end is present, here the opening is present, the opening is there. So these are called hydatodes, okay. This is called hydatodes. This is hydatodes. Is it clear? Not means on the epidermis it is present, but not like stomata, okay, irregularly. Here actually it is not on the surface. It is not on the surface of the leaf. Okay, the stomata are present on the surface of the leaf in the epidermal cell, in the epidermis. But here, when the vein ends, so that ending point, suppose this is the ending point. So through this water is coming out. Okay, through this water is lost. Through this water is lost. So here it is called guttation. So these are hydatodes. Okay. If anatomically we see, suppose this is ending of one leaf. Okay. Ending of one leaf. This is epidermis. And this is the principal vein, suppose. So this ending of leaf, it has one opening, small pore. And that is called guttation. Sorry, that is called hydatodes. Okay, so this is hydatodes. Okay, so hydatodes means these are openings at the end of the vein, at vein ending. These pores are called hydatodes through which guttation occurs. Root pressure pushes the water upward and water, some amount of water, not all, some amount of water is pushed out through special pores at vein ending. They are called hydatodes. So these are hydatodes. Okay. So this is guttation. Now the question is, another question is, another question is, means during guttation the water comes out, no? So this is pure water or impure water? So actually this water,
Impure water.
it is impure water. Okay, it is
Contains
not
minerals.
yes, good. It contains minerals. No, minerals are also absorbed during water absorption. That is a different mechanism. This is active transportation. But they are dissolved in water. No, they are in water. So this water, it contains organic and inorganic salts also. Okay, so it is not pure. Okay, so sometimes they ask like this: water plus mineral pure water, only mineral comes out like this. So you can see if more guttation occurs during rainy season or during winter season, when transpiration is generally low, even in during even in day period. Okay, transpiration is very low, but water is means more water is available in the soil because moisture is there in the humidity is there in the environment. So at that time you can see the a salty layer is deposited. A salty layer is formed on the leaf surface. White colored salts. Okay, salts are deposited there. Okay, that is also
Sir,
harmful.
once can you scroll up, sir? I got some network issue.
Hmm. So the next point is the water comes out from the through the guttation from the hydrothodes. The water comes out by guttation is not pure water. It contains organic and inorganic salts. It is not pure. One more point. Guttation.
Sir, once can you show from the guttation starting, sir? I'll take screenshots.
Okay, this is guttation. Next point. This is a question actually. Guttation is not because of hydrothode. It is because of root pressure. Okay, if both the options are given, suppose, so it doesn't mean that guttation it means hydrothodes are responsible for guttation. The responsible factor is root pressure. Because of root pressure guttation occurs. Otherwise hydrothodes are they are always available there, no? If the root pressure is not present, if the root pressure is absent, if the root pressure is not produced, no guttation occurs. Okay, so during day there is no guttation because transpiration starts, but hydrothodes are present there. So guttation occurs because of, is it completed? Hello?
Yes,
Is it
sir.
completed? Yes. So next point is guttation is not due to hydrothodes, due to activity of hydrothodes, but it is due to root pressure. Okay, so it is due to root pressure, not by hydrothodes. Hydrothodes, these are just a channel. These are just openings. Okay.
Sir, in a rainy day, since transpiration is less, during daytime also guttation occurs, sir?
No. At that time, guttation is not. In daytime, guttation is not available. Means it has not been observed at that time. Generally, transpiration is slow. It is not stopped completely. So most amount of the water it is lost through the transpiration. But transpiration is low. It is not absent. During night, the problem is transpiration is completely absent. Okay, no light is there. So transpiration is generally absent, but water is absorbed continuously. So because of this, guttation occurs. But in daytime, even rainy season or winter season, transpiration is slow but not completely stopped. Okay. Otherwise, if the transpiration is stopped, it means what? It means stomata are closed. If stomata are closed, photosynthesis is also closed. Photosynthesis and respiration, because this is the gateway now for gaseous exchange. So stomata has to be opened, and when stomata opens, they will turgid. The cells become turgid. The water is lost. So transpiration occurs at that time also. It is not completely stopped. So most of the amount is lost by transpiration, not hydrothores. No guttation. Fine. This is guttation. Okay. These are some differences also. You can see loss of water in the form of loss of water in the form of vapor, that is transpiration. Loss of water in liquid form, that is guttation. Transpiration occurs through the stomata, guttation occurs through the hydrothodes. Okay. Transpiration generally it occurs during daytime, but guttation occurs in night or early morning. Okay, early morning you can see that drops, these drops on the grasses. Okay, so these are actually because of guttation.
Sir,
Fine.
sir,
And in
guttation takes
transpiration
place
through the
sir.
uh-huh.
Takes place through pressure,
Your
whereas
voice is breaking.
transpiration takes place by due to its
Your voice is breaking. I'm not getting you properly. What are you saying? Transpiration? What? Hello. Okay. So I'm explaining transpiration and guttation. So guttation occurs during night or early morning, and transpiration occurs during daytime. Transpiration में water का loss, it is pure water, and guttation में it is impure water. Organic material, the salts are available. The transpiration is, yes, one more point. Transpiration is actually controlled process. Okay, it is controlled phenomena. It is controlled by CO2. It is controlled by ABA. But guttation is uncontrolled. When water absorption occurs, guttation occurs. Okay, because there is no mechanism of opening and closing of hydrothodes. Okay, so it is uncontrolled. This is just an open gate. If water is accumulated here, it is lost. Okay. This is the these are some differences. So I think we have covered all these points in this explanation. Guttation. Next, after this guttation is bleeding. Okay. Next one is bleeding. What is bleeding? Sometimes it is called exudation. Okay. Bleeding, it is called exudation. Actually, exudation, what is exudation? Here, this is the plant.
Sir, can you scroll up for 1 point, sir?
Plant
2 points. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. So this is a plant. Just from the lowermost leaf, now it is cut down. Okay. And it is planted in the soil. This is the pot.
Sir, is guttation a type of excretory process, sir?
Which process?
Excretory process.
You can say excretory process, but generally excretion it means what? In excretion, waste material is excreted. Okay, excretion is nitrogenous waste material. So it is not exactly excretion. Excretion ka definition is it is the elimination of nitrogenous waste material.
Sir, can you scroll up, sir, for once?
But here only water is excreted here. So yes, it is a type of this, but it is not required in plants.
Sir, can
Only
you
the
scroll up, sir,
herbaceous
please?
herbaceous plants show this phenomena. Otherwise, in all plants, it is not present. Okay, in higher plant, it is absent. Guttation is not present. So there is
sir,
no
thank you.
exact excretion. But yes, here the water is excreted, extra amount of water. So in definition of excretion, it is saying like nitrogenous waste material plus extra amount of water is eliminated in case of animals, but in plants generally it is not excretion. Huh? Is it done, Shishir?
Sir, can you tell again what is bleeding?
Yes, sir. Done.
So this is bleeding. What is bleeding? Bleeding, it means it is called exudation. Exudation or bleeding, actually, this is one experimental phenomena here. One plant is where this plant is taken. Suppose now it is cut from this point, lowermost leaf, from the lowermost leaf. Okay. Now the plant will be like this. This is the plant. Clear? Means you remove the upper portion completely, stem, leaves, all. Now after some time you can see from this dissected part of the plant, here water, directly water comes out. Okay, this water is coming out from the dissected part of the plant, injured part, you can say. Okay, so this injured part or cut part of the plant, especially the stem, it shows bleeding, this secretion of liquid, it is called bleeding. Okay, and this bleeding is also because of root pressure. When root pressure is high, at that time bleeding occurs. Okay, it also contains same amount, same material like water. So water comes out during this process, that is called bleeding. Okay, here some amount of sucrose and other food materials may be present, maybe not, maybe they are also present, because during this cutting, during this dissection, phloem is also injured. Okay, so not only water, but other sucrose or other food material, they are also included in this liquid. So it is secretion, it is not only water, it is secretion of liquid, it is not secretion of water only. Fine. So this secretion is called bleeding or exudation. This is liquid now. So this liquid comes out from the injured or cut part of the plant, and this phenomenon is called bleeding, and it is also because of root pressure. Okay, so if root pressure is developed, the water moves upwardly, and during this process, if you cut the stem, if you cut the root, cut the plant, okay, you can see this upward movement of water. Okay, so this water moves out. Okay, because there is no any space, any place to transport the water. So water moves out through the stem directly, not the hydrothodes. Hydrothodes are present on leaves, but here this liquid material, water, minerals, sucrose, this complete mixture, it comes out from the stem directly. It is called bleeding. Okay, so bleeding occurs. This is bleeding. Just a minute. Bleeding is called, bleeding is called exudation. Bleeding means exudation. Exudation means water lost. Water is lost in the form of liquid, but not from the hydrothodes. It is coming out from the injured or cut part of the plant. It is
Injured part of
exudation.
xylem and phloem.
Not xylem and phloem. It is a stem. Directly you can say stem. Okay, they are injured. Means the xylem phloem are the part of plant. Okay, so you can say the cut part or the injured part of the plant. So automatically xylem phloem, they are included in that part, stem.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So bleeding is called exudation. Bleeding means what? It is secretion of liquid from the cut part or injured part. Injured part
Sir, can you scroll up?
of the plant. Okay. And the reason is same, which is in guttation. It is here in bleeding also. That is root pressure. Okay. So bleeding occurs due to, it is due to root pressure. So when root pressure occurs, it means obviously it occurs during night again. The guttation, it occurs during night or early morning. Similarly, bleeding also it has been observed during night only, because during day no root pressure is developed. Here transpiration starts, so transpiration pull is developed, that is negative pressure. Okay, so because of this transpiration occurs, but in this case root pressure is developed because no transpiration. So direct liquid oozes out, the liquid comes out, that is bleeding.
So then guttation can also be called exudation, sir.
No, it is not exudation. Here exudation occurs from the injured part only. If you suppose if you make some injury in the plant, if you cut the plant part, then you can see bleeding. Okay, if you cut your vein, then the blood comes out. No? So that is called bleeding, but the flow is there continuously, flow in the vessels or arteries and veins. So that is called circulation. No, it is circulation, it is not bleeding. Similarly here, water comes out automatically, naturally, that is guttation. Okay, natural coming out of water, that is guttation. But if you make injury, if you cut the part, then water comes out, that is called bleeding. It is exudation. Okay, even it contains that phloem material also. Okay, but in case of guttation, only mineral water, water plus mineral. Okay, so in short you can say mineral water. So this water, mineralized water comes out only, not secretion. So this is the difference. No? So guttation is not bleeding. Okay, but the reason is same. In guttation, in bleeding, the same reason is there, that is root pressure. Okay, for example, rubber plant, Vitis vinifera, toddy palm, toddy. Toddy is there, toddy palm in south region, toddy is there, toddy plant. Okay, so it secretes around 50 liter juice per day. Okay, that is alcoholic beverage actually, toddy or toddy. Toddy word or toddy, T-A-D-D-I, toddy. So toddy or toddy. So actually it is toddy palm. So in villages you can see this one in Andhra, in Telangana also.
So we consider it as bleeding.
Yes, it is bleeding. It is bleeding. That juice is actually because of bleeding. Okay, so generally the villagers, they know this point, so they make the cut in the plant. Okay, and during night, they place some pot or whatever the material, they store this juice in that pot. So over the night, this juice is secreted by the bleeding process, and in morning they collect that one. This is the simple process. So the farmers, the villagers, they know very well. Okay, it is due to root pressure. Fine. So I'm adding here this point here, for example.
Sir, from bottom to top, the tree is very long now, so how it will be exhibiting root pressure from that height?
No. Root pressure is generally, it is not that much efficiency. Okay, it is not that much powerful like transpiration. Okay, so root pressure occurs only for few feet. Okay, so it is not exact reason for ascent of sap. Ascent of sap is because of transpiration pull only. So root pressure is developed for up to 10 feet or 20 feet or 30 feet only. It is sufficient to up to push the water upwardly. 20
We'll
feet.
scroll
So
the page up.
around 50 feet plant maximum. So if you cut the, if you make the injury of the topmost portion of the toddy plant, okay, no secretion is there. Fine, because there is no root pressure, there is no water. Fine. Root pressure is developed up to 50 feet, mostly 50 feet. But it's more power is in starting 20 feet only. So if you cut the plant, if you make the injury between this portion from the soil or from the surface to 20 feet height, more juice will increase, more juice will you can obtain.
10 feet to?
Okay. Hello.
Yes, so
Root pressure ka range. It is not
range?
root pressure magnitude. It is not value of root pressure. It is the height up to which the root pressure pushes water. That is 20 to 50 feet. Okay. This is the range of ascent of step by root pressure. So I'm not saying about power of root pressure. Only 2 atm, only 2 atmospheric pressure is sufficient to push water up to 20 feet. We will see the ascent of step. I'm coming to that point.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is bleeding. In short, guttation, loss of water in the form of liquid, it is mineral water through the hydrothodes because of root pressure in night. Bleeding, it is loss of water, but not only water, it is a secretion because of injured part, because of cut part of the plant. Reason is same, root pressure during night. Clear? So if you cut the part, if you make the injury during day, and if you means if you hope that juice will come out, so no reason. Okay, no chance, because not root pressure is there. Okay, so the example, toddy palm, rubber plant, toddy palm, rubber and whitish also. So, for example,
Excuse me, sir. What is written after rubber, sir? What is written after rubber in the last?
whitish, VITIS, whitish plant. For example, toddy palm, it secretes, bleeds out around 50 liters.
So what's after rubber?
Secretion or liquid.
What's after rubber?
Whitish, just a minute. VITIS. Okay, 50 liter liquid in a day. Okay, which is commercially used to form alcoholic beverage, synthesis in synthesis of alcoholic beverage. Okay, that is called toddy or toddy. Okay.
It is, we can say Kallu. We can say the toddy form is Kallu.
Yes. Kannu or Kallu?
Kallu, sir.
Kallu.
Kallu. Yes. Last time student said me this name. Kallu. Yes. Correct.
Later it's fermented also, no, sir?
Means there is a process. Means it is not. Sometimes it is directly they consume directly. That will be more beneficial. Okay, if you consume this directly. Otherwise, fermentation occurs and then different process they perform. And alcohol is formed there finally. Okay, commercially. Otherwise, in village they use directly. So this is the liquid, and that is beneficial. Health wise, that is beneficial. The pure juice, fresh juice. Okay, not this alcoholic beverage. Okay, so don't use this toddy. This liquid is used in synthesis of, it is not used, means it is used in synthesis of alcoholic beverage mostly. But naturally, you can consume this directly. That will be beneficial. So this liquid is used in synthesis of alcoholic beverage called, I'm not writing kallu, it is tardy. Okay, this is tardy. So region wise the name is different, but general name is tardy. In Hindi it is also called tardy. Fine. Okay.
Natural alcohol.
Natural alcohol you can say. Okay, just a minute. I'm just coming in 1 minute. Just yes. So bleeding. After bleeding, next part is ascent of sap.
Can you one scroll
Next
up?
is
Scroll up, sir.
done.
Yes, sir. Scroll down.
So ascent of sap. Ascent of sap means just upward movement of water, upward conduction of water, that is called ascent of sap. Okay. This is upward conduction or movement of water against gravitational force or gravity. That is called just a minute. From roots to leaves, that is called gutish, that is called ascent of sap. Okay, this is ascent of sap. Okay, now ascent of sap, it is because of transpiration pull, that is a different point, but here one point is what is the path of ascent of sap. So xylem is responsible tissue. Okay, this is the main tissue which is responsible for ascent of sap or upward movement of water. Okay, xylem is responsible for ascent of sap. It was proved by experimentally proved by experiment. Girdling experiment.
Sir, can you scroll up once, sir?
Girdling experiment was done by
Sir, it was proved by what, sir?
girdling experiment. Girdle. D-L-I-N-G. Girdling experiment means ringing experiment. You can say ringing experiment. Girdling or add one more, ringing, ring like structure. So it is called ringing experiment or girdling experiment. Okay. So girdling experiment was done by Malfigi. Okay. Malfigi.
What is HOM in first point, sir?
Upward conduction of water against gravity from root of leaves. In first point,
Yes, sir. Can you read
this
one,
is upward
sir?
conduction of water. This is upward conduction of water against gravity from root to leaves. Okay, fine. So girdling experiment was performed by, put forward by, done by Malfigi. Okay, Malfigi also discovered capillaries, blood capillaries. So Malfigi. Malpighian tubules, that is also in zoology, excretory part in the cockroach. Yes, Malpighian tubules. Okay, so this is Malfigi. So this Malfigi discovered, not discovered, it is experimentally proved that xylem are responsible tissue. Okay, so in this experiment, actually he removed, first he removed xylem. In this experiment, the xylem part is removed. Two cases are there. No?
Sir, in last point, what is after
So in these two
Malfigi
cases, in first and Hartig, H-A-R-T-I-N-G, Hartig, sorry, Harting, no, not, it is Harting, not Hartig, H-A-R-T-I-N-G. Okay, the experiment was in first experiment they remove xylem. Sorry, they remove phloem, and xylem was in this plant. This is the plant, and these are the roots. Here, the plant has leaves. Okay. So leaves are there. So in this case, the xylem is present, and because of this xylem, the water moves upwardly. This is xylem. This yellow color line, and it has water molecules. So water is moving upwardly, and it is supplied to the leaves. Okay, it means the leaves, these are turgid, these are fresh. In this experiment, when they remove phloem only. Okay, so they remove first in this first experiment. a ring of bark is removed. Okay. And in second experiment, the xylem is removed. Fine. So in first experiment or the A experiment or the A plant, the leaves of this A plant, the leaves they remain fresh. Okay. But in the second case of the B plant, this is A plant, and this is B plant. So in B plant, what happens here? He removed just he cut the xylem by using knife or what was the tool? Okay. So here the water flow is stopped. The upward movement of water is stopped because of this absence of xylem part. Okay. So xylem is removed uh, at some point. So because of blockage of xylem or the xylem is absent something. So after some time they observe that this twig or this plant, its leaves, they show wilting. Okay.
So can you explain once again?
Fine. Because of this is simple experiment performed by Malfigi. The experiment in they performed their experiment on two plants, two different plants they took. In first plant, they remove phloem only. Okay, they remove phloem. This is phloem part actually. So the phloem is removed, but xylem is it is okay. The xylem they didn't disturb the xylem. So xylem is available, but phloem is absent. Okay. So in this case, they show that xylem is present. So the leaves, even uppermost leaves of this plant, they remain fresh. They remain turgid. Okay, no flaccid or no wilting occurs. Fine. It means these leaves they are getting water. They are receiving water. So the water means there are only two vascular tissue, na, xylem and phloem. So which is responsible for this transportation, this translocation of water? This is the question. So
Xylem.
experimentally, they prove that this is the xylem, and water is going up because of xylem. So the leaves are turgid; they are fresh. And second experiment, they actually remove the xylem part, which is in the middle part of the stem. So by some tools or by sharp knife, they just injured the part of the stem and they destroy the xylem part only. Okay, at one point. But the phloem remains same in this experiment in this B plant. So they observe that phloem is present, but xylem is absent, or xylem is blocked, or xylem is cut, injured. So no water translocation occurs. So after some time, they observe that the leaves they become they show wilting. Okay, so now they are wilted. So the leaves they show wilting. It means the water is lost from the leaves. No water is available. They do not receive water, and the water which is present already they have lost by the transpiration process, but no absorption or no receiving of water from the adjacent cell because the xylem it is empty. The upper xylem is empty here. Okay, it is not like this. I should show like this. No water is present in upper xylem. Okay. So the lower xylem up to this cut or injured part, it has water. But the upper part has no water because no continuation. So no water is supplied to the uppermost part or the leaves. they are wilt. They show wilting. So this is girdling experiment by this one, Malfigi. Okay. Here this is fresh leaves, wilting occurs. Wilting is
So
shown
should
by.
we draw this in our copies? Should we draw this in our notebook, sir?
No, not required. Not no, not required. No, not required. It is just to explain. So the phloem is destroyed or removed, you can say. Here, the xylem is removed. Okay. I will make the notes, so no need to draw this diagram. In this experiment,
yes, sir.
In this experiment,
3 plus 2 and 6 plus 2 8.
they took two twigs, two healthy plants.
Sir, how many topics to finish this chapter, sir? How many topics to finish this chapter?
How many days? How many
Topics.
classes? This topic, no, transport in plant.
Yes,
this is
sir.
the end part. Only one headline. The main another topic is Munch hypothesis or Munch hypothesis. Okay, after ascent of cell, mineral absorption, and to show that bulk movement of food. Okay, only one theory is left. So a ring of bark is removed.
Sir, once can you scroll up, sir, the diagram?
Which destroy phloem. Okay. A ring of bark is removed which destroys phloem. The leaves of this plant, the leaves of
Done, sir. Thank you, sir.
this plant remain fresh and turgid. The xylem is destroyed or removed in which shows wilting in leaves after some time. Okay. This experiment shows that water conduction occurs through the xylem only. Okay, this is ringing experiment. Now ascent of sap. So actually the mechanism of ascent of sap. Is it completed?
No, sir.
The
What's the
third.
last point?
No, sir.
Okay. The next heading is
Sir, mass flow
Sir, in
and
the
bulk
third
flow means
point,
ascent of saps.
the xylem is removed in the second
yeah, that is
plant,
mass
which
flow, bulk
shows
flow,
what
same.
is that, sir?
It is same.
Okay, sir.
The xylem is removed in second plant, which shows wilting, WIL, wilting in the leaves after some time. So mechanism of ascent of sap. Okay. This is mechanism of ascent of sap.
Sir, can you read the last point, sir?
First of all, root pressure theory. Okay. Root pressure theory was given by Priestley. The root pressure theory was put forward by Priestley, Joseph Priestley. So he says that there is a hydrostatic pressure. The root pressure is actually hydrostatic pressure produced in the roots, and it is responsible for this conduction of water upwardly. Okay. But after that theory, different objections were there, and they show that root pressure is not sufficient for ascent of sap. Okay. So the first point or the first theory is root pressure theory. Root pressure theory proposed by Joseph Priestley. So Joseph Priestley or Priestley described that according to this theory, a hydrostatic pressure is developed in roots. Hydrostatic pressure is developed in roots. It is root pressure. The root pressure is responsible in upward movement of water. The theory was not accepted actually. The theory fails because there are so many objections. The root pressure is not much more, or it is not much sufficient to push up the water in higher in the lengthy plants. Okay, heighted plants. It is sufficient for small plants. Means the theory is applicable in small plant. You can explain root pressure theory in case of small plants. Okay, but in higher plants it is very difficult. Okay, like 300 feet or 500 feet plant, suppose. So these plants means here ascent of sap doesn't occur because of root pressure. Root pressure is not sufficient. Okay, so the theory fails because the magnitude of root pressure about 2 atmospheric pressure. It is about 2 atmospheric pressure. Okay. This pressure is capable to push water upward in a small plants up to 50 or up to 50-60 feet height. Okay. It cannot explain ascent of sap in higher plant. Pressure is sufficient for 50-60 feet height plants. Okay. First thing.
Sir, once can you
Second,
scroll up?
another point in conifers. The conifers are gymnosperms. So the conifers, they have no root pressure. Okay, but ascent of sap occurs. So the cold or drought condition is there and the conifers are developed. So conifers do not show root pressure. One more thing, root pressure is developed only when, means this is a specific condition now. Root pressure is developed only during night. Okay. And when water is available, water is more. Okay. Means excessive water is available at that time. Water is available, even the water is available, plus it should be absorbed. Intake of water occurs. At that time, root pressure is developed. Otherwise, there is no root pressure. Okay. So, but the transpiration occurs when the water is not sufficient amount. Water is not available in sufficient amount in the soil. At that time, also transpiration occurs. Okay. So here, root pressure is developed only when excessive water is absorbed. Okay. Otherwise, it is absent. Conifers do not show root pressure. They do not show root pressure. Okay. Okay. So these are some reasons. Root pressure, it is developed during night, but mostly ascent of sap occurs in daytime. Okay, so this is another reason. So these are some demerits of this theory, root pressures theory. So it is failed. Okay, it is not accepted theory. Is it completed?
Sir, in conifers, then how the water will be transported through transpiration?
Transpiration, no? Transpiration is there. Not only conifers, the other plants, they have transpiration. So it says that the root pressure is responsible for transpiration. But the scientists say that no, root pressure is absent completely in conifers. So how can you define this root pressure to in ascent of sap? So there is no answer. So Prestole fails to define this theory on conifers. It cannot be applicable now. This is objection actually. So because of these reasons, the theory fails. The next theory is uh, completely most accepted theory actually, complete theory, that is cohesion tension theory, or it is called transpiration pull theory, or
What is the reason that conifers don't show root pressure?
because this is drought condition, a cold drought condition is there, less air is available there, so root pressure is not developed much. Okay, less water absorption, this is drought condition. Transpiration pull theory, or it is called cohesion tension theory. Okay, cohesion tension theory. Okay. It was put forward by two scientists, Dixon and Jolly, proposed by Dixon and Jolly. Most accepted theory. Okay. There are three different criteria, actually three different points you can say. First, that is transpiration pull. Okay. The first point they described like this: transpiration pull. According to Dixon Jolly, actually transpiration occurs, and because of this transpiration, one tension is created from the leaf xylem, okay, from the mesophyll cell, then leaf, and then this transpiration pull is developed from leaf xylem to root xylem. That is negative pull actually. It is called transpiration pull, and this transpiration pull pulls water from the root to the farthest end of the plant, that is leaf. So from root xylem to leaf xylem, the water intake or upward movement of water occurs, that is ascent of sap. And yes, this transpiration pull is more efficient. Okay, you can explain ascent of sap by this theory in highest means longest plant, you can say, like 130 feet, 130 meters height. 130 meter, it means around 500 feet plant, 500 feet height. Okay, 500 feet. Fine. So in gymnosperm, angiosperm, you can apply this theory, but not root pressure theory. It is only up to 50-60 feet. So transpiration pull theory says, because of transpiration, transpiration occurs in the plant and it produces and it loses water through the stomata. Attention. Is developed in leaf xylem due to transpiration. It is called transpiration pull. A transpiration pull, or this is the force. Okay, it is developed from the mesophyll cell. This transpiration pull is developed from the leaf xylem to root xylem. Okay, from the leaf xylem to root xylem. It is a negative pull or negative tension. Negative tension. Transpiration pull is negative pull, negative tension. Transpiration pull is sufficient to pull water or to show ascent of cell. To pull, transpiration pull is sufficient to show ascent of water over
Can you
130 meter. Just. So 130 meters, 130 meters. 130 meters means you can say around 490 feet or 500. 500 feet or 130 meters. Done?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The next criteria or next basis of this theory, it is cohesion force of water. So what they say that because of this transpiration pull, the water molecules, they are mutually attracted, mutually combined because of cohesive force. Means one cohesive force is developed among the water molecules and they form a complete column. A continuous column is developed, continuous water column is developed in the xylem. And one more, the xylem wall is there, xylem vessels are there, so the wall of this xylem and water molecules, they are attracted by adhesive force. So cohesive force and adhesive force. Okay, because of these two forces, a continuous water column is developed from the root to the leaf xylem. Okay, there is no chance of breaking up this xylem, this water column. Okay, and because of this
Sir, if
continuous
bubble is
water is
developed
absorbed.
means the water
Bubbling also
column.
occurs. Yes, correct. Bubbling, or sometimes you put the wax also to block the xylem also. Strasburger raised this objection. Okay, he said if bubbling occurs because this movement of the branches at that time. Okay, during a storm or during high wind velocity. So at that time it is possible that bubbles enter the xylem vessels, but Dixon Jolly, they said, they clarified that even the bubbling occurs, so there are so many xylem vessels are there. So if bubbling occurs in 2-3 xylem vessels, suppose, and they block the passage of water, even this water moves to the other xylem vessels. Just like our veins, arteries. Okay, arteries have many branches now. So generally, if the any blockage is there in case of heart disease, okay, coronary heart disease especially, the problem is only coronary heart disease, okay, CHD, or coronary artery disease, especially CAD. So CAD is the problem in heart. Otherwise, in other organs, in suppose legs, suppose hands, here the arteries, they may feel they may experience some blockage. Cholesterol is deposited and blockage is there, but so many arteries are there. They are called arterioles. These are arterioles and capillaries. So many branches are there. Suppose this is blocked artery, no issue. The blood flows through this artery. What is the problem? Huh? So it means here also Strasburger, he raised this question that if the bubble occurs, or if I put some wax on this vessel, in this vessel tube or the lumen of the vessel, then it is blocked. The water is blocked here. So Dixon Jolly, they said that no issue if the bubble is there, even after some time this bubble is dissolved. But suppose bubble is there and it block this tube, so water moves from the other veins, other xylem vessels, other xylem tracheids. Thousands of xylem vessels and tracheids are there.
That's why
So if
xylem is
2-3 block,
concentrated in center, so pressure will be more, bubble formation will be less.
yes, yes, yes. Xylem is the center portion. Okay, just inside, just outside the pith. This is the central part. So this is cohesion of water. Let me complete this part. Cohesion force of water. So according to Dixon Jolly, water molecules are mutually attracted by cohesive force. Because of cohesive force, they are attracted mutually. Okay. Cohesive force and form a continuous water column. Okay. So it says continuous water column because of cohesive force. At same time, the adhesive force exists. A strong adhesive force is there between water molecules and the wall of xylem vessels, just like water inside a glass. Okay, so the wall of glass, it has that attraction, that is adhesive force now. So water and the wall of xylem or xylem vessels, the water column has great tensile strength. Okay, cannot be easily breakable. Okay, it cannot be easily broken. Fine. So it has a great tensile strength. It cannot be broken easily. Here the cohesive force value, the value of cohesive force.
Excuse me, sir. What is that word after
Yes.
great tensile?
The water column has great tensile strength. Strength. This is.
Sir, what force is
Okay. Strength.
sorry,
So
sir,
this
what's
cohesive
the
force
force
का
written in
value is
second
around
line, second point?
in second point, a strong adhesive force between
The name of that force is
water and the strong adhesive force, ADHESIVE.
So can you explain the
Okay,
first
the
point?
value of cohesive force is ATM. Water molecules are mutually attracted by cohesive force, and they form a continuous water column. Or cohesive force forms a water column, and this cohesive force value is 20 atm. Okay, our root pressure, it was 2 atm. Is it clear? That was 2 atm, the Priestley's root pressure, but Dixon Jolly says it is 20 atm cohesive force is developed. So this 20 atm, 1 atm is sufficient for 30 feet, around 30 feet. It can raise water up to 30 feet, 30, 32. So it means 20 around 300, more than 300, 30, 32 feet. 1 atm, 1 atmospheric pressure.
Sir, can you scroll up, sir?
Just a minute. Capable to raise water up to 32 feet high. Okay, it means it is capable to move water upwardly around 350 height. 400 is possible, yes. So this is just an idea that 20 feet, 20 atm is there approximately. And the third point
Sir, I
was.
didn't understand the term adhesive force and cohesive force. Can you explain?
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Which point? Which point?
The first and second point, sir.
Okay. This is xylem vessel. Okay, xylem vessel. The wall of xylem vessel. And this is water. So water molecules, first of all, water molecules are mutually attracted by, because of cohesive force. Okay, this is cohesive force. Mutually attracted by cohesive force. So means there is a tight continuous column is developed. First thing. Second, the wall of vessel and this one, the water molecules, they have this wall of vessel and the water molecules. They have another force, that is adhesive force. So two forces are there. They form a continuous water column. Means the waters, they are attracted towards the wall. Okay. They are in contact with the wall tightly. That is adhesive force. And they are tightly attracted, tightly attached to each other. That is cohesive force. So cohesive and adhesive force, they form a complete column. And its tensile strength is very high. And because of this, there is no gap. There is no any discontinuity in water column. So it means continuously water moves upward. And the objection was that if a bubble is entered, so now what will happen in water column? This water is blocked here, no? This xylem vessel is blocked. No passage for this water. So that is a different point, but your doubt is here. This is adhesive force, this is cohesive force. Cohesive means mutually. Two same
Yes, I got
molecules,
it.
they are attracted by cohesive, yes. And the other molecules, so this is adhesive. Okay.
So what is tensile strength, sir?
Tensile strength means continuity of this water column. It is strong continuation because of cohesive and adhesive. So they have that tensile strength, means it cannot be easily broken. Okay, they have that strength. The water column, because of cohesive force, again the same reason is there. Because of cohesive and adhesive force, strength is developed. Cannot be easily broken. Cannot be disturbed.
Sir, once can you scroll?
And because of this continuous transpiration
So
occurs,
can you
continuous
scroll
ascent of
up
sap
the art?
occurs. No, just a minute. It is 12:35, so I have to complete this part. After that, I will show you all things from the starting of the class. Just a minute. Shishir. Continuity of water column. So same point I explained here. The water column is because of cohesion and adhesion, and this is a continuous column. That's it. Cohesive and adhesive force form a water column in the lumen of xylem vessels. It cannot be broken easily. It supplies water upward. Means it pushes the water upward. Okay. The water moves upward passively from root to the topmost part of the plant. This is continuity of water. Okay.
Sir, once can you read the
Now I'm
first
showing
point?
here
One minute, sir. Last
from
point.
transpiration pull theory.
Sir, just need to write the last point.
The last point.
Okay. Yes. This is continuity of water column.
Sir, can you read the first point and continuity of water column?
Cohesive and adhesive force. Cohesive and adhesive force form.
Yes, sir. I just want that word, whether it's force or something.
Force. FORC.
Okay, thank you.
Completed,
Yes.
sir.
Okay. Yes. Shishir. Shishir is there. I'm showing you
So
this.
can we leave if we are done?
Yes. You can leave.
So did we
Thank
complete
you,
the
sir.
transportation part, sir?
Thank you, sir.
Sir, once you show the last point, sir.
Excuse me, sir.
Sir, last point.
Sir?
Can we
So once can you show the last point?
Sir, can you show the last point, sir?
Sir?
Sir, can you please show the last point?
Guys, the last point is the water moves upward passively from the root to the topmost part of the plant.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
sir.
Yes, sir. Can you show the
Just-
last point, sir?
Just.
Yes, sir.
Sir, so we completed
showing
the
you this.
transportation part, sir, or some topics left, sir?
Last topic is there, that is bulk flow, mass flow hypothesis only. So we'll take next time. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Only that one.
Show the
Means the function of phloem, you can say. This is xylem. This is the function of xylem, and we'll see function of phloem.
Sir, can you show the continuity of water column, please?
Just a minute here. This is
Thank you, sir.
ascent, root pressure, and transpiration pull theory. I think so. Next is cohesion force of water. I think Shishir wanted this.
Excuse me, sir.
Sir, done, sir. Third one, sir. I need
Okay. Third one. This
Sir,
is continuity of water column.
Excuse me, sir.
Ha.
Sir, in gilding experiment, that rigging experiment, if we remove the phloem, so we can say that the root dies first and then the shoot
Root
dies.
dies first. Yes. In other words, you can say because no translocation of sugar. Okay.
Yes,
So
sir.
root will die first. Okay.
Okay,
In
sir.
case in this case, root will die first. Yes.
And then the shoot.
But general yes. And the first case, the leaf die first. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Because xylem is disturbed. The xylem is discontinuous.
Okay, sir.
If phloem is destroyed, obviously root that sugar transportation, it is blocked.
Root transport
Munch
nahi hoga.
hypothesis, yes. Mass flow wo nahi ho payega. So
Yes,
no
sir,
sugar or starch storage in the root. So root will be means they feel there's that scarcity of food material. Okay.
Okay, sir. Sir, once can you explain that also? That yesterday you said that the outer wall of the guard cell is elastic. So according to you, can you explain that theory once?
अरे हाँ यार वो
Okay.
yes मैं भूल गया.
Sir, shall
वो
we
देखना है
relieve,
मुझे, फिर
sir?
से देखना पड़ेगा.
Sir,
just
tomorrow can you explain
yes.
the
Tomorrow I have no class.
So today is the last class of Wednesday.
Today is the last class. This is Wednesday. So मैं उसको कंफर्म करूंगा एक बार, अभी मैं देख नहीं पाया, forgot that point.
सर लेकिन ट्रूमैन में भी ट्रूमैन जो बुक है ना सर, उसमें लोग बोल रहे हैं कि आउटर में इलास्टिक है बट इनर आल्सो इट्स इलास्टिक, बट आउटर में ज्यादा इलास्टिक है. यस सर, आउटर में ज्यादा इलास्टिक है एज कंपेयर टू इनर. दैट्स जब वो फ्लासिड सेल जब वो स्वेल अप हो जाता है, सो बिकॉज ऑफ दैट माइक्रो फिब्रिल्स दैट इनर लेयर इज आल्सो गेटिंग क्या बोलते हैं ओपन.
यस, वो ज्यादा करेक्ट एक्सप्लेनेशन है, वो ज्यादा करेक्ट है. ट्रूमैन का एक्सप्लेनेशन
यस सर, बट इन द रेजोनेंस शीट दे गिव दैट
टू दैट
इलास्टिक.
सीआरटी क्या होता है इसलिए चलता है. मैं आपको एक बात, हाँ बोलिए
सर. हाँ यस सर, रेजोनेंस के ये में जो बुक में है सर, उसमें लिखा है कि इनर वॉल आर नॉन इलास्टिक, लेकिन इट इज आल्सो इलास्टिक ना सर.
वही इसलिए क्या है एक्चुअली, when in NEET if they ask like this type of question जिसमें कंट्रोवर्सी है, ओके
हाँ सर,
तो मींस वो फिर डिसाइड होता है ओनली बाय एनसीईआरटी.
ओके सर.
इसलिए क्या होगा, जो एनसीईआरटी ने कहा है ना वही मतलब फाइनल ट्रुथ है.
ओके,
मतलब वो सुप्रीम कोर्ट है हमारा.
हाँ
ठीक है ना.
यस सर.
उसने जो बोल दिया बस वही माना जाता है. हालांकि उस पर फिर केस लगते हैं, उस पर फिर केस चलता है, कोर्ट में केस हो जाता है कि बहुत सारे जो प्रोफेसर हैं वो फिर अड़ जाते हैं बात पे कि नहीं ये तो गलत है. तो वो गलत पॉइंट है देखा जाए तो. अगर आउटर इनर वॉल को आप थिक कर देंगे, इनइलास्टिक कर देंगे, तो वो कैसे ओपन होगा भाई?
इट विल नॉट गेट
उसको कोई खींचने वाला चाहिए ना, कोई उसको पुल करे तो ही तो वो ओपन होगा.
हाँ
अगर
सर,
वो
वही
हाँ, तो वो पॉइंट तो गलत है
सर. लेकिन
क्योंकि एनसीईआरटी में दिया है,
हाँ सर,
और अगर वो नीट में क्वेश्चन आ गया तो फिर आपको एनसीईआरटी को ही फॉलो करना पड़ेगा.
एनसीईआरटी को फॉलो करना है.
हाँ, फिर वो ये नहीं कहेंगे कि ट्रूमैन ने क्या लिखा है और रेजो ने क्या लिखा है.
हाँ सर, वो भी सही
है ना, क्योंकि वो अथॉरिटी उनके पास है ना, एनसीईआरटी के पास है.
सर. मेरे ख्याल से जो डीप डिटेल है वो ट्रूमैन और आप जो बता रहे हो, लेकिन एनसीईआरटी में जस्ट एक ब्रीफ बोला गया है कि दैट इज इलास्टिक.
वही प्रॉब्लम है, एनसीईआरटी क्या करता है, डिटेल नहीं देता, फिर हमको बिटवीन द लाइन जाना पड़ता है.
यस सर.
उसके साथ बस वो लाइन टू लाइन, पॉइंट टू पॉइंट दे देते हैं, दैट्स इट. एक्सप्लेन नहीं करते उस चीज को,
एक्सप्लेन नहीं करते. यस सर.
हाँ, वो एक बड़ा प्रॉब्लम है. वो एक्सप्लेनेशन के लिए तो फिर बाकी लोगों की जरूरत पड़ेगी ना.
हाँ,
तो इसलिए अभी अगर वो एनसीईआरटी का क्वेश्चन, मतलब अगर वो क्वेश्चन आ रहा है और अगर वहाँ ऑप्शन ऐसा कुछ दिया हुआ है एग्जैक्ट फ्रॉम एनसीईआरटी, अगर उन्होंने कॉपी कर दिया तो फिर वही करेक्ट मानते हैं.
ओके.
और अगर हम एक्सप्लेन करने बैठेंगे तो फिर हमको मानना पड़ेगा कि इट इज नॉन इलास्टिक. ठीक,
ओके सर.
ऐसा. तो ट्रूमैन का एक्सप्लेनेशन अच्छा है.
हाँ सर, ट्रूमैन इज नाइस सर.
तो हमारा कंसेप्ट क्लियर रहना चाहिए, लेकिन साथ में ये भी देखना है क्योंकि हमें किसी को एक्सप्लेन नहीं करना ना जाके, हमें किसी को समझाना नहीं. हमें तो नीट में जाके पॉइंट टू पॉइंट कौन सा ऑप्शन करेक्ट है बस उस पर जाना.
यस.
तो हमारा वो एक हमारी डिप्लोमेसी होना चाहिए ऐसे. ठीक है ना, कि हमें तो करेक्ट आंसर निकालने से मतलब, हमें किसी को एक्सप्लेन नहीं करना, किसी को ब्रीफिंग थोड़ी देना है, किसी को लेक्चर नहीं देना है. मुझे लेक्चर देना है आपको, तो मुझे समझना पड़ेगा. ठीक है, लेकिन आपको नहीं देना. आपको तो नीट में जाके टिक मारना है बस. तो आपका वो टारगेट होना चाहिए कि सही टारगेट, सही चीज कैसे मिलेंगी हमको, वो इम्पोर्टेंट. अभी भी जो क्वेश्चंस आप टेस्ट में करते हैं तो उसमें एक्सप्लेनेशन में मत जाओ. आप ये देखो कि 4 ऑप्शन में से क्या मोस्ट करेक्ट जा सकता है. यहाँ पर सर ने क्या बताया था, ट्रूमैन ने क्या लिखा है नहीं मालूम, जो वहां है वो देखो. उस कंडीशन में आप, क्योंकि आपको फाइट करना है, मुझे थोड़ा फाइट करना है. आपको हम गन दे देंगे हाथ में और आपको बोल देंगे जाओ जाके लड़ लो. तो ये आपका काम है, आप कैसे लड़ोगे. ठीक है. अब मुझे, अब कभी आपने देखा कि वो जो सेना में जाते हैं वो बार बार कोई फोन करता है क्या कर्नल को कि मैं मारूं कि नहीं मारूं. वो उसका काम है, उसको देखना है कि वो कैसे लड़ेगा. इट्स अप टू यू. आपको फाइट करना है तो आपको देखना पड़ेगा क्वेश्चन पूछ क्या रहा है, उसका क्या इंटेंशन है एग्जामिनर का. आप लोग बहुत सारे ना बहुत सिली क्वेश्चन गलत करके आते हो सिर्फ इसलिए कि वो उस बुक में ऐसा लिखा था, इस बुक में वैसा लिखा था. वो मत देखो, बिकॉज़ ऑफ द कंफ्यूजन. हाँ, कंफ्यूजन. यस, तो कंफ्यूजन तो फिर नहीं चलेगा यार. वो बहुत मुश्किल काम है, नीट में बहुत कंपटीशन है.
यस सर.
तो इसलिए ये जरूरी है कि आप क्वेश्चन को कैसे मारोगे, ये आप देखो, उसको कैसे शूट करोगे, ये आपका काम है. हम लोग आपको
सर इवन एनसीईआरटी में डिटेल में नहीं दिया है सर. जैसे आप लोग
डिटेल नहीं होता वो हम
सर, आपने अभी इतना सारा एक्सप्लेन किया ना सर, इतने पॉइंट्स एक्सप्लेन किया, एनसीईआरटी में ज्यादा है नहीं
है वो. अभी तो आप तो खैर अभी नए हैं, आप ऑब्जेक्शन नहीं लेते, लेकिन बहुत सारे बच्चे ऑब्जेक्शन लेते हैं कि अरे सर इतना डिटेल क्यों बता रहे हो, बस एनसीईआरटी बता दो हमको. ज्यादातर बच्चों का ये इंटेंशन होता है कि एनसीईआरटी से तो आता है, तो एनसीईआरटी जो बताएगा बस वो उतना ही बता दो
सर लोग वही बोलते हैं 90 क्वेश्चन में से 87 आर फ्रॉम एनसीईआरटी डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चंस।
हाँ डायरेक्ट आता करेक्ट है, लेकिन उसका कंसेप्ट क्लियर होना चाहिए अपने।
वही कंसेप्ट क्लियर होने के लिए ज्यादा पढ़ना पड़ेगा,
ज्यादा पढ़ना पड़ेगा। आता एनसीईआरटी से हम भी मना नहीं कर रहे, दैट इज द मदर टिंचर, यू कैन से मदर कंटेंट। जैसे मेडिसिन का मदर कंटेंट होता है ना, वैसा है वो।
हाँ सर, हाँ सर।
तो मदर कंटेंट, मलेरिया का कोई सा भी आप ट्रीटमेंट लोगे तो उसमें हमेशा क्विनाइन मिलेगा, क्विनाइन होता ही होता है, दैट इज मदर कंटेंट। तो वैसे एनसीईआरटी भी मदर कंटेंट है, लेकिन उसके सराउंडिंग में सारे क्वेश्चन घूमते हैं, ट्विस्ट करते हैं हम क्वेश्चन को, ठीक है ना। तो आप क्वेश्चंस देखेंगे तो बेसिक तो वही है, उसका बेस तो एनसीईआरटी रहेगा, लेकिन कंसेप्ट अगर क्लियर नहीं तो फिर एनसीईआरटी काम नहीं आएगा आपके, है ना, वैसा है।
हाँ सर।
सर मुझे
एनसीईआरटी
Thank
फॉलो
you, sir.
करते रहो, पर
हाँ सर,
साथ
हाँ
में
सर।
दूसरे क्वेश्चंस करते चलो।
वही सर, वही डाउट था कि क्वेश्चन आ गया तो क्या
हाँ।
करूं मैं, इलास्टिक डाल, क्योंकि क्वेश्चन कुछ भी आ सकता है ना सर।
अगर डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चन ऐसा आता है और एनसीईआरटी का ही सेम स्टेटमेंट है तो आंख बंद करके लगा दो उसको।
ओके
फिर
सर।
ये मत देखो कि सर ने क्या बोला था और नोट्स में क्या लिखा था, ठीक है, वहाँ सर नहीं आएंगे, वहाँ एनसीईआरटी वाले ही काम
एनसीईआरटी आएगा।
हाँ।
मुझे एक
हेलो,
डाउट है।
थैंक
हाँ
यू
जी
सर।
बोलिए। ओके आदित्य।
एक्सक्यूज मी सर।
यस यस
हाँ सर, मुझे एक डाउट है सर।
जी बोलिए।
क्वेश्चन पेपर देख रही थी। मैं विधि हूँ सर।
हाँ जी विधि बोलिए।
सर मैं कल क्वेश्चन पेपर देख रही थी तो मुझे एक क्वेश्चन में डाउट आया था सर। व्हाट इन अ हाइपोटोनिक सॉल्यूशन व्हाट डज नॉट अकर। सो सारे ऑप्शन सही है ना सर? साइटोप्लाज्मिक लाइक इन द साइटोप्लाज्म प्लस
अच्छा अच्छा, आप वो क्वेश्चन की बात कर रहे हैं, उसमें सी ऑप्शन इज करेक्ट एक्चुअली, दैट क्वेश्चन इन द टेस्ट पेपर ना।
हाँ सर।
हाँ सी एक्चुअली वो करेक्ट लग रहा है सभी। अब प्रॉब्लम है कि सारे करेक्ट हैं, तो अब दिक्कत ये होता है उसमें मोस्ट करेक्ट क्या होगा, ठीक है। तो उसका प्रॉब्लम ये है, नहीं इसमें
सी ऑप्शन आई डिडंट
एक्चुअली, हाँ हाँ एक्चुअली क्या है, प्लाज्मोलिसिस का आप डेफिनेशन देखिए, तो प्लाज्मोलिसिस के डेफिनेशन में कहीं पर भी ये नहीं लिखा है कि साइटोप्लाज्मिक श्रिंक्स। ओके, साइटोप्लाज्म इज श्रिंकेज, उसका श्रिंकेज नहीं होता, श्रिंकेज होता प्रोटोप्लाज्म का। ओवरऑल प्रोटोप्लाज्म इज श्रिंक, नॉट साइटोप्लाज्म। व्हाट इज प्रोटोप्लाज्म? प्रोटोप्लाज्म मैंने सेल के स्टार्टिंग में ही बताया था आपको, जब सीबीएसई हमने स्टार्ट किया था।
हाँ
तो
सर।
प्रोटोप्लाज्म हैज टू कंपोनेंट्स ना, साइटोप्लाज्म प्लस न्यूक्लियस प्लस वैक्यूल। हाँ, तो आप श्रिंक करेंगे साइटोप्लाज्म को तो न्यूक्लियस कहाँ जाएगा? So nucleus plus cytoplasm both shrink at that time, means both are they are contained in the protoplasm. So overall protoplasm is shrink, not cytoplasm.
Okay.
तो इसलिए C option is correct. मतलब उसमें पूछा था which is wrong, ऐसा कुछ था वो।
साइटोप्लाज्म पूछा था हमने। साइटोप्लाज्म
yes, which is wrong or which is not applicable if the cell is kept in hypotonic solution, something language was there, something statement. तो उसमें ऑप्शन सभी करेक्ट हैं। इट विल श्रिंक, द साइज विल डिक्रीज, समथिंग ऐसे सारे ऑप्शंस करेक्ट है वो, बट प्रोटोप्लाज्म विल श्रिंक। यस, प्रोटोप्लाज्म विल श्रिंक। ओके, दैट वाज करेक्ट आंसर। ओके, एनी अदर डाउट फ्रॉम एनी अदर कॉर्नर?
थैंक यू सर।
ओके,
एंड सर वन साई पी साई एम क्या होता है सर?
metric potential, it is negligible, metric potential.
Do we have to remember the definition of metric potential?
No, not important. Only the equation is there, psi w is equal to psi s plus psi p plus psi m.
हाँ।
Sometimes वो question में psi m देते भी नहीं है, direct psi s plus psi p तो भी चलेगा।
ठीक है।
Okay, yes.
Thank you sir.
चलिए, okay, wrong. Okay, any other doubt? I think no. Fine. So I'm concluding this meeting here. Thank you. और कोई डाउट है तो मेरा व्हाट्सएप नंबर है ग्रुप में, आप डायरेक्ट मुझे मैसेज कर दीजिए तो हम उस पर डिस्कस कर लेंगे। ओके, थैंक यू।
Thank you, sir.
थैंक यू।